Imagine this, a single mother burdened with bills sits at her kitchen table, her hands trembling. She wonders how she'll keep the lights on for her children. Then just as despair begins to take over, a neighbor unexpectedly offers her groceries, saying they felt compelled to help. This is not just luck, it's a reminder of something profound. We are never truly alone. Many of us have felt the weight of uncertainty, asking ourselves if we'll have enough money, enough strength, enough hope. Today we'll explore why you can trust that your needs will be met, no matter how impossible it seems. Stay with me, because this understanding could transform the way you see challenges in your life. Imagine this, a single mother burdened with bills sits at her kitchen table late at night. The room is dimly lit, her children are asleep, and her hands are trembling as she calculates expenses. Despite working tirelessly, she's still unsure how she'll make ends meet. With every number scribbled on the paper, the gap between her income and her needs feels insurmountable. Fear grips her heart as questions flood her mind. How will I pay the rent? What about groceries? Will my kids have what they need for school? And then something extraordinary happens. The next day, a neighbor unexpectedly knocks on her door carrying bags of groceries. The neighbor, hesitant but smiling, says, "I don't know why, but I felt like I should do this for you." In that moment, the mother feels a wave of relief, her burden momentarily lifted. It's not just the groceries, it's the unspoken assurance that someone somewhere is watching over her needs, even when she doesn't know how to ask. This story resonates because it taps into a universal experience. We've all had moments when life feels heavy, when we're staring down challenges that seem impossible to overcome. Perhaps it's not groceries you need, but guidance, strength, or hope. And yet in those darkest hours, how often does something unexpected happen? A phone call from a friend, an opportunity that seems to come out of nowhere, or even a kind word from a stranger. These moments remind us of a deeper truth. We are never truly alone, and there's a force at work that ensures we are cared for, even when we can't see it. Think about your own life for a moment. Can you recall a time when you were at your wits' end, unsure how you'd get through? Perhaps you were struggling financially, emotionally, or even physically. And then just when you thought you couldn't take another step, something shifted. Maybe someone offered help, or a solution presented itself in the most unexpected way. These moments are not mere coincidences. They are reminders that there is a system of care and provision woven into the fabric of life itself. This truth is powerful and deeply comforting. It challenges the narrative of scarcity and fear that so often dominates our thoughts. Instead of being consumed by doubt, we're invited to trust that what we need will come when we need it. This trust doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It's about releasing the grip of fear and opening ourselves to the possibilities around us. It's about believing that the universe, or whatever you choose to call it, has a way of providing for us, often in ways we could never have imagined. So as you listen today, hold on to this idea: you are cared for, loved, and supported in ways that transcend the challenges you face. There is a force at work ensuring that your needs will be met. Stay with me as we explore this further, because understanding this truth has the power to change not just how you see your circumstances, but how you live your life. Life has a way of confronting all of us with uncertainty, whether it's about finances, relationships, health, or even our purpose. The unknown can feel like an unrelenting weight. This struggle is universal, transcending backgrounds, ages, and circumstances. It's the human condition to stand at the crossroads of what is and what might be, grappling with the question, will it all be okay? Think about the last time you faced uncertainty. Maybe it was waiting for the results of a job interview that felt critical for your future. Or perhaps it was a medical test that held the answer to weeks of fear. For some, it might be the uncertainty of waking up each day in a world that seems increasingly unpredictable. These moments feel isolating, as if the weight of the world rests squarely on your shoulders. Yet, as isolating as it feels, it's also one of the most common experiences shared by humanity. Everyone at some point has faced a moment where they didn't know how they would make it through. It could be as small as a missed deadline at work, or as monumental as losing a loved one. The scale of uncertainty may vary, but the emotions it stirs, fear, doubt, anxiety, are universal. This common ground is what connects us, reminding us that we are not as alone in our struggles as we might think. The struggle with uncertainty often brings with it a narrative of scarcity. Will I have enough? Becomes the mantra that runs through our minds. Enough money, enough time, enough energy, enough love, whatever the resource, the fear of it running out looms large. But let's pause and reflect on a truth that often gets overlooked: the fact that you're here right now. You've faced challenges before, ones that seemed insurmountable in the moment, and yet here you are. Somehow, despite the odds, you've been provided for in ways you might not have expected or even acknowledged. This universal struggle is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of being human. It's a part of life that reminds us of our vulnerability, but also our resilience. The moments when we feel we have nothing left are often the moments when we discover just how much we are capable of enduring. It's during these times that we're most open to seeing and receiving help, whether it comes from within ourselves, through others, or from forces beyond explanation. Uncertainty forces us to ask difficult questions, but it also invites us to trust. It invites us to believe that just as we've survived before, we will survive again. It reminds us that there is a rhythm to life, a give and take, a rise and fall that ensures balance, even when we can't see it immediately. By understanding and embracing the shared struggle, we find not only hope, but also a profound sense of connection. The truth is, we're never facing uncertainty alone, even if it feels that way. Each challenge is part of a greater story, one that reminds us time and again that provision and support have a way of showing up, often just when we need them most. Trust is a powerful and transformative force, one that has the ability to shift how we experience the world. It's not about being passive or complacent in the face of adversity. It's about actively choosing to believe that things will work out, even when the evidence before us seems to suggest otherwise. It's a mindset that opens the door to unexpected blessings and opportunities simply because we have allowed ourselves to be open to them. The moment we choose to trust that everything will align, we shift the course of our actions, thoughts, and even our energy. This shift has the potential to unlock doors that were once thought to be closed. Think about the times when you've trusted even in the face of uncertainty. Perhaps you faced a job loss or had to start over in a new city, and despite all the fear and doubt swirling around you, something amazing happened. Perhaps a new opportunity appeared out of nowhere, or a connection you never expected helped you get back on your feet. This wasn't just luck, it was the result of trusting that there was something beyond what you could see at the moment. When you trust, you align yourself with something greater than your immediate circumstances, and that is when the magic happens. The power of trust works because it enables us to release our attachment to outcomes. When we're overly attached to the way things should unfold, we become rigid in our expectations, leaving little room for the unexpected. But when we trust, we let go of control and make space for the unknown. This doesn't mean that we stop working or stop striving. It means that we work with the understanding that we are not in control of every variable, and that's okay. Trust opens us to a flow where solutions appear that we might not have planned for or expected. Moreover, trust is contagious. When you trust in life, others around you begin to trust too. It creates a ripple effect. Think about how trust builds relationships, whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional environments. When we trust others, we invite them to trust us in return. This mutual trust creates a strong foundation where opportunities and support naturally arise. In the same way, when we trust that life will provide for our needs, life responds by providing what we need, often in surprising ways. But trust also requires patience. It's easy to trust when everything is going according to plan, but the real challenge comes when things don't unfold the way we expect. During those moments of discomfort, trust may feel like a leap of faith, but it's in those moments that it's most important. Trust doesn't necessarily mean things will unfold exactly as we envision them, but it does mean that things will unfold in the way that we need them to. It's a surrender to the journey, trusting that every twist and turn holds a lesson, and that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Trust is not just an abstract concept, it's a practical tool for living a more open and fulfilling life. When we embrace trust, we are choosing to operate from a place of faith rather than fear. We allow ourselves to step into the unknown with the belief that what we need will come to us at the right time. And that belief creates an energy that draws opportunities, connections, and solutions that may have otherwise seemed out of reach. The more we practice trust, the more we create space for miracles both big and small to enter our lives. Life is full of signs, both big and small, that demonstrate how care and provision show up in ways we often fail to notice. We're so focused on what we don't have that we miss what we already possess, or the blessings that quietly surround us. These moments of care may not always come in the form we expect. Sometimes they are as simple as a friendly smile from a stranger on a tough day, or a timely word of encouragement that shifts our mindset. The world often has a way of providing just what we need, even if it isn't wrapped in the package we imagine. Think about a time when something you needed appeared at just the right moment. It could have been a financial contribution from an unexpected source, a helpful piece of advice from a colleague, or even a chance meeting with someone who became a key player in your journey. In those moments, it's easy to feel like you've been fortunate, as though you just stumbled upon the right opportunity. But what if these instances weren't mere coincidences? What if there's a deeper pattern of care at work, one that provides for us in ways we can't always see in the moment? This is where the magic of everyday provision comes into play. We are constantly surrounded by care, though it's not always in the form of grand gestures. Sometimes it's the small things that make the biggest difference. Perhaps it's someone lending a hand with a task when you're overwhelmed, or a timely reminder that you're loved when you're struggling with loneliness. In times of uncertainty, it's easy to overlook these small miracles, yet they are often the very things that help us keep moving forward. There's something profound in the way life provides, almost as if the universe is sending us little nudges to remind us that we are not abandoned. We may not have all the answers or solutions at our disposal, but the care that shows up for us, whether it's emotional, practical, or even spiritual, is a constant. It's important to recognize these moments as a form of provision, especially when we feel the most disconnected or uncertain. The act of acknowledging this care, no matter how subtle, strengthens our faith in the process and reinforces the belief that our needs are always met in some form. When we begin to recognize the ways in which life supports us, it becomes easier to trust that we are cared for. These moments of care act as reminders that we are not walking through life on our own. We are constantly being supported in ways that we might not always understand or even notice. The small acts of kindness and the unexpected solutions that show up in our lives are all part of a larger, beautiful system of provision that works behind the scenes. When we open ourselves to seeing these gifts, we shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. We realize that no matter the challenges we face, we are surrounded by an ever-present source of support. This awareness, however, takes practice. It requires slowing down enough to notice the quiet gestures of care that often go unnoticed. It's about changing our perspective to recognize that care and provision are always present, even when they aren't immediately apparent. By doing so, we begin to see the world through a lens of trust and openness, allowing us to receive more fully the gifts that life is offering us. This shift in perception is powerful, because it turns every moment, every interaction, and every opportunity into a reminder that we are loved and provided for in ways we might never have expected. Building trust in life in the process of provision is not a passive act, it's an active choice that requires intentional effort and commitment. It's easy to let fear, doubt, and worry dominate when we're facing uncertainty, but cultivating trust requires a shift in how we approach life. The more we actively work to build trust, the more we begin to align ourselves with the support and provision that is always available to us. It's about developing a mindset that embraces the idea that things will work out even when we can't see the full picture. One of the first steps in strengthening trust is practicing gratitude. When we focus on the things we are thankful for, even in the midst of challenges, we open ourselves to seeing the abundance that already exists in our lives. Gratitude helps shift our focus from what's lacking to what's present, and in doing so, it creates a positive cycle of trust. When we acknowledge the things we are grateful for, we send a message to the universe that we are open to receiving more. Gratitude is a powerful tool because it not only helps us see the good in our lives, but also strengthens our belief that provision will continue to show up. Another essential step in building trust is letting go of control. When we hold on too tightly to the idea that we must manage every aspect of our lives, we create tension and resistance. Trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to means releasing the need to control the outcome. This doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or giving up on our goals. It means surrendering to the flow of life and accepting that we cannot control every variable. When we let go of the need to control, we make space for unexpected solutions and new possibilities to emerge. It's a powerful practice that allows us to operate from a place of peace and openness rather than fear and rigidity. Mindfulness is another practice that can deepen trust. Staying present in the moment instead of worrying about the future or dwelling on the past helps us to connect with the truth of our current situation. When we are mindful, we can observe how the universe is providing for us right here, right now. Mindfulness also helps us tune into our intuition and inner wisdom, which often provide guidance and clarity when we need it most. By being present, we develop a greater sensitivity to the signs and opportunities that are always available to us, helping us trust that the answers we need are already within reach. Building trust is also about taking action even when the way forward is unclear. It's easy to wait for everything to fall into place before making a move, but true trust requires us to take steps in faith even when we don't know how things will turn out. When we take action, we signal to the universe that we are ready to receive the provision we need. Sometimes the next step isn't revealed to us until we move forward with the first step. Action, in this sense, is an expression of trust. It's a way of saying, I believe that I am supported and that things will work out as I move forward. Finally, remember that building trust is a journey, not a destination. It's a continual practice of letting go, staying present, and taking action with faith. As we develop these practices, we find that trust becomes less of a choice and more of a natural state of being. The more we trust, the more we realize that we are never alone in our journey and that everything we need will be provided in the right timing. This kind of trust doesn't require perfection. It simply requires us to show up, let go of control, and have faith that life is guiding us exactly where we need to go. The most powerful truth that we can carry with us in life is that we are never truly alone, even when the challenges we face seem overwhelming. No matter the circumstances, there is a force of care and provision at work in our lives, guiding and supporting us, often in ways that we cannot fully comprehend. This force may not always appear in the way we expect or on the timeline we envision, but it is always present. The awareness of this unyielding love and care is not only a source of comfort, but it is also a foundation for strength and resilience in every area of our lives. When we recognize that we are loved and supported in this way, it changes how we approach life's difficulties. Instead of facing each challenge with fear, we can approach it with a sense of trust, knowing that the help we need will arrive, whether through our own inner strength, the support of others, or even in ways we have not yet imagined. This kind of trust doesn't mean that everything will always go smoothly or that we won't face hardships. It simply means that no matter what happens, we can rest assured that we are being taken care of. This sense of being loved and provided for gives us the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path seems unclear. When we understand that we are loved in this way, it also frees us from the grip of scarcity and fear. So often we get trapped in the belief that there is not enough, whether that's enough time, enough money, or enough support. But when we embrace the reality that we are constantly provided for, we begin to operate from a place of abundance rather than lack. This shift allows us to move through the world with a lighter heart, less weighed down by worry, and more open to the blessings that are already in our Aldi. We start to recognize the small moments of care that might have once gone unnoticed, a friend's thoughtful text, an unexpected opportunity, or even the peace that comes with simply taking a breath in the midst of chaos. This understanding also helps us navigate the unknown with more ease. When we trust that we are being cared for, we no longer feel as though we are walking alone. The unknown becomes less intimidating because we know that we are not facing it in isolation. The support we need is always available to us, even when it's hidden behind uncertainty. It's a reminder that there is a purpose to every challenge and that even in our most vulnerable moments, we are exactly where we need to be. As we move through life with the knowledge that we are loved and provided for, we can begin to share that love and provision with others. The recognition that we are supported allows us to extend that same care to those around us, whether through small acts of kindness, offering support, or simply being there for someone in need. When we understand that we are all connected by this invisible thread of care, we naturally want to pass it on, creating a ripple effect of love and support that extends far beyond ourselves. Ultimately, the understanding that we are loved and provided for serves as both a source of peace and a call to action. It encourages us to trust in life's process, to let go of fear, and to open ourselves to the abundance that is always flowing toward us. And as we do so, we create a life where we no longer have to walk in fear of what's to come, but can face each new day with confidence and hope, knowing that we are deeply loved and supported in every moment.